All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ignite Your Life Start call. I believe tonight is number 27, which is super exciting. And it's Labor Day. So happy Labor Day, everyone. And thank you so much for making the choice to be on this call. It really means a lot. You know, it's a holiday, and you're going to be really glad that you were on this call because Wyatt has some awesome stuff to share. And I'm not going to waste any time. So Wyatt, thank you so much for being on our call tonight.
Sure, thank you for asking.
Heck yeah. I know like all of our START people in the group have been waiting to hear your story. So now is your time to shine.
Yeah, so
I figured we could just start the call with you kind of sharing how Isagenix came into your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was the summer of 2015, and I was at a time period in my life kind of like covering everything where I was just really frustrated overall. Physically speaking and like career-wise, I just wasn't happy with where I was. And one of my childhood friends I've known since elementary school, Lindsay, she approached me about Isagenix. And, at first, kind of like many, skeptical, wasn't sure. I just didn't really get it or understand it. So, over the course of like 6 months, she had just touched base with me. And, it obviously took that long, but, eventually it kind of clicked. And in that time and leading into it, I had been trying to put on some weight, some muscle, for like 2.5 years going into it. And, I just wasn't getting anywhere. Wasn't finding, the results that I wanted, wasn't making much progress. I had taken a couple of different protein supplements to try and help out, but, it wasn't working. So I was getting frustrated with that. And then, as Lindsay continued to share Isagenix with me, it kind of made more and more sense. And, since I started, I've put on over 10 pounds of muscle. So I've got, my own journey, and actually wanted to share, I have some pictures and stuff I wanted to share. So this is me when I started. This was my very first IsaBody picture. And this is where I am now. So you can, you can obviously see a difference. But the even cooler part about it is now I've made it a family affair. I've got my mom involved. She's down 30 pounds.
Woo-hoo!
I've got my dad involved. He's down, like 20-ish pounds, down 4 pant sizes. So, we've kind of done that as a family, which has made it even, that much more better. And, it's really cool to be happier and healthier as a family. And, I wouldn't trade it in, for the world. It's meant that much to me. So, I started February 2016. So it's been probably a little over 1.5 years now that I've been using Isagenix.
Wow, that is awesome. I love that your whole family is on board with you and that you're doing this as, a team. And that's just so powerful to be healthy together. I was wondering, I know when we talked last week, you shared another photo with me and you kind of shared the backstory around that. And it was really powerful for me. And I think it'd be really powerful for everyone on this call, if you don't mind sharing it.
Not at all.
Cool.
So this is the picture that I shared with Allie. Hopefully you can all see it. So I'm second from the left. I look a little different. My hair is kind of transitioned to my face instead of my head.
I think you froze. Did I freeze?
I can hear you, Allie.
Okay.
Yeah, Allie, I can hear you too.
So Wyatt froze?
Yeah.
Shoot. I'm going to message him quick and see if he could log out back in. Oh, maybe that's what he did. All right, we'll just wait a sec. Oh, there he is. You're muted.
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
I'm having some connection issues today, so let's try this again.
No problem. Oh, maybe it's the sharing screen feature. Because you're frozen again. Can you talk right now? Are you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, you're not.
Then I'm just going to stop screen sharing because
Yeah,
I guess that's the
that's
issue.
what it is.
Anyway, yeah, with that picture, we took one after every 4x4 at our conference meet every single year. So, and as you can see, I'd kind of like contorted my body so you couldn't really see it. Whereas, everybody else in the picture is standing, boldly showing off their muscles. And not at the time, but now looking back at it, I realized that I had a self-image problem, and that's why I had contorted myself, because I didn't like how I looked. And you could see it, I was just, like literally skin and bone. I mean, I had a little bit of the muscle, but there's not much there. And the point in this is, you don't have to be fat or obese or overweight to be self-conscious about how you look, to have a self-image problem. And I had one. Now it wasn't, I didn't go and have like eating disorders and that kind of thing. It didn't disrupt me like that. But, I was kind of ashamed for, what I looked like. And I felt like I couldn't do anything about it. And the funny part about it is, if you've ever heard the term TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside, my diet was not good. I could eat like a horse. I mean, I could eat a lot. And our college food was really, really good. So, I'd load up my plate with a lot of different stuff and I could eat it all, but, I'd never gain anything. So you'd never know. You'd think I had an eating disorder. So, it actually leads me into a little bit of a story. Our head men's basketball coach at the college where I work just retired, but he told us a story before he left. He had a parent of one of his basketball players that he couldn't stand. This guy would yell and scream at the referees, the players, the coaches, his own son. And he'd email the coaches after every single game. He'd scold them and talk about all this different stuff and how their game planning sucked and this and that. And so coming up on their senior banquets, his son was a senior this year. He emailed this dad one more time and just kind of like told him off, but in a polite way, because this guy, he wasn't a jerk. So he told him off politely. This dad called him back the next day or the next week and apologized for, kind of being a pain in the ass and all that kind of stuff. And he finished the call with saying, he apologized and said, "Coach, I'm sorry, but I have bipolar disorder. I can't control myself during the games. My wife won't sit with me. That's why I'm always sitting by myself, because I can't control myself, at the games." And the point in this is, we all have issues. You can't always see it on the outside. But that's the amazing thing about Isagenix. And this is what we do. We're a relationship building, company. We connect with people. And, in order to kind of find out what the issues are, what their hurts are, what their needs are, you have to be able to connect with people. And, until you do that, you don't, that's really where the joys and the successes come from, is connecting with people. So, I had this issue. I never really realized it till, years later. But, I'm proud with where I'm at. And now I can look at myself in the mirror and be proud of what I look like and, how I feel. So, that's kind of my story about that.
That is so awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's really powerful, especially from a guy's perspective, because you hear a lot, with girls and having body image issues and stuff. But thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
And I totally agree with you that, everyone has their stuff. And until you start connecting and asking questions, you'll never know what that is. So, and there's usually stuff that's deeper than what you think. I really enjoyed that story. My other question, to get on a little lighter note, so even in that story, you're talking about coaches and teams and this and that. So obviously you've always been an athlete. And I know that recently you've been in some really awesome competitions, and you're also an American Ninja Worrier trainee. And I was wondering if you could just kind of talk about what that's been like and how you've integrated Isagenix into the equation with all your training.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been training to get on the show American Ninja Worrier for the last, 2.5 years now. It's a pretty complex process that I'm not going to get into it. It'll take too much time. But, on top of that, I run, I do road running, trail running, obstacle course racing, like Tough Mudders, that kind of thing. And now I've gotten into duathlons. So it's not, what are my plans on Saturday? It's what's the next race I'm doing Saturday. It's usually what I end up getting asked, so I'm kind of go. But yeah, I've been an athlete, since like age 4, preschool or whatever. And, I've never had a system like our AMP system. I'd taken some post-workout stuff like I'd mentioned before, the protein stuff. But now I have a complete line that's based on nutrient timing, which breaks it down into pre-workout, mid-workout, and post-workout. And, the Isagenix AMP performance line has been, essential to me hitting all my goals, my PRs, ever since I started. My 5K times have dropped, my 5-miler times have dropped, my half marathon, I beat those times. And I have a really funny story to me. About that I'll get to in a second, but it's amazing what Isagenix provides for you to provide your body, at those 3 different times. Getting your body prepared and ready to go before a workout or a run, keeping yourself at that peak level during, and then taking care of your body afterwards. There's nothing else like it, and I'll never use anything else ever. And it's the only thing I'll ever recommend. It's been such a blessing. So you can call me crazy. A friend decided to ask me if I wanted to do not just 1 half marathon in a weekend, but 2. So I did one on a Saturday and a Sunday back in May. So Saturday I ran Brooklyn with like 37,000 people. It was insane, complete madness. I ran my first half marathon. I ran in April 2016. So I just started using AMP, but I didn't really quite have my routine down, and didn't quite know how to use all the products. And I ran like a 1:48, which I guess was all right. But the second half of the race I started to die out. Fast forward to May 2017, and my first one at Brooklyn, I ran a 1:41, and I felt awesome. I had my fuel, I had hydrate in my running belt. I used the fuel, the mid-workout gel. I took a packet every 3 miles. I used the hydrate in between, and mile 6, 7, 8, 9, I felt amazing. I'm blowing by people as they're starting to break down. I'm flying by them. And the last 5K, I crushed it. I sprint up. You finish on the Coney Island boardwalk. I sprint up the little ramp and just take off towards the finish line. I felt awesome. So, I thought, all right, 1:41, that's pretty awesome, but I don't know how I'm going to feel about tomorrow's race, with less than 24 hours to go. So I used the rest of the system. I used the shakes. I obviously took my post-workout recovery and, made sure I was hydrating. Did the same exact routine for Sunday. Used the fuel, the hydrate. I ended up running a 1:37. I ran 4 minutes faster on Sunday than I did Saturday. I mean, I'm just a surprise. The same kind of thing, mile 6, 7, 8, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling awesome. And, I'm blowing by people again. And I'm thinking, how in the hell am I doing this? Like, this is insane. Is this really, maybe I'm dreaming. I don't know. But, I crossed, so I couldn't see the timer until I went around this curve. And I'm looking at the clock and I can see 1:37. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. Ended up getting, third in my age group. And now this is coming from a sprinter. I was a sprinter in college. So, half marathon to me is like a million miles. But, to beat that by 4 minutes, less than 24 hours after having run 13 and a half already, I couldn't believe it. And it's just a testament to, how awesome AMP is, and what you're giving your body and providing your body. It was amazing.
That is so awesome. And even from your first half marathon in that weekend, that one was like 7 minutes faster than the prior one you'd done.
Yep.
That's
Once I got the routine down and learn more about the product and how it's really helping my body and what I'm putting in my body and how it can. Yeah, it's a game changer, total game changer.
That's awesome. Chelsea, I hope you're hearing this. She's a marathon runner. Would you mind sharing a little bit about American Ninja Warrior?
Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about that. Oh my gosh. So I know, and I had like a little 1 minute clip that I had produced like last year. I wanted to share, but I don't want to freeze again.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's not familiar with it, it's really upper body intensive. There's some balance and agility stuff mixed in, but 3/4 of it is upper body strength. It's grip strength and forearm strength, and you got to use your shoulders, back, biceps. Your core muscles. I mean, it's insane. And I don't really have a true ninja gym around me, so I have to travel at least an hour to get to one. And then when I'm there, I usually try and put in at least 2 hours, to make my time worth it, because it's hard stuff, and it's practice, practice, practice. If you want to be good at it. And before I had amped, I could go half an hour to 45 minutes or so, and I'd be totally burnt out. My muscles would be achy. I'd be tired. I feel like I couldn't go anymore. I wouldn't have any grip strength left. But once, I started using amped and started incorporating that into my workouts, it changed everything. I mean, I could go well over an hour. I could train harder for longer. I could take my post-workout and, 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, feel like I could do, the entire workout all over again. So, it's been a big time help in that capacity too. And just, athletics in general. I mean, whether it's running or, Ninja Warrior training or anything, it's a benefit for everybody to use.
Totally. That is awesome. If you don't mind, I'd like to transition into kind of the other part of your story, which I think is so cool. When you were sharing with me last week, you were saying how with Isagenix, when you came in both as wanting the products, but also being a part of the income opportunity and what Isagenix has to offer, financially. So I was wondering kind of what you could, or if you could share your financial story or your financial side with Isagenix with us.
Sure. So yeah, when Lindsay had first come to me in 2015, part of my frustration, like I said, was career related. I graduated college in 2010, and today's September 4th, 2017. I still have not, over 7 years, I still have not had a full-time job. And it's not for a lack of trying. I've sent out hundreds of resumes, and, I've gotten the rejections and the no answers and all that kind of stuff. And, it's just 7 years of building frustration. And, with some other stuff going on, it's so easy to lose focus. And, I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell am I going to do with my life? Because, I'm not where I want to be. I had gone into college as a bio major and came out a communications major. So, the focus and, the uncertainty was really, really hard. And Lindsay saw that, and, presented me with the Isagenix opportunity and spent a lot of time on the business side of it. And, in February, it was the night that I ended up signing up. I had sat down with her and her boss, and, they had gone over the business plan and what it meant to cycle and how to build consultants and, all the business lingo. And, I went home and sat there for 2 hours, just kind of processing it and thinking about it. And, that's kind of when the light bulb went off, and I was like, you know what, if I don't do anything, then nothing's going to change. At some point I've got to take a leap of faith and, just go for it. And, Lindsay, I've known her, like I said, since elementary school. I trust her. So if she's into something and she really believes in it, then, why shouldn't I? And that's when I jumped in, both feet first. And, here I am. I went consultant in my first 60 days. I'm helping almost 60 people now. So, it's been a real blessing, and it's kind of helped me find my passion. My mom gave me it was the June after I started, she gave me a little piece of paper. On it was a little Venn diagram. The one circle said, find your passion, or find your gift. The other circle said, share your gift. And the little part in the middle that, where it comes together, is, that's your passion for life. And I thought it was really, really perfect. So she knew, a couple months in, she knew that this is what I wanted to do. Because allows me to be me, and it incorporates all of my strengths, and I get to use that to help people, transform their lives, and I love it. And I wish I'd started 6 months earlier. I wish I wouldn't have waited, freaking 6 months to start it. So, Lindsay, thank you. I hope you're on the call. I can't see you, but thank you.
Lindsay Steiner.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Hey, Lindsay, you're the best. That is so awesome. And weren't you saying that your parents are sharing it with others too, as well?
Yeah, my dad's a business builder now too. Yeah, it's been awesome to work alongside him and help him out. We're always asking questions and talking to each other and helping each other out. So yeah, it's really, really cool to build alongside family too. It's really neat.
That's awesome. I love it. My last little question for you would just be to, sometimes on these calls, a lot of times there's people that are new to Isagenix or joining this call just to learn about it for the first time. I was wondering if you had any little piece of advice or something you could leave them with that a suggestion or anything.
Yeah. And there's probably a million different things I could say. I don't know if I can keep it to one, but
you can name a couple if you want.
Yeah, for me, it's never give up. It applies to anything in life. There are going to be times where you get knocked down, but it's always going to be about how you respond to it and getting back up. In my personal life and my business, I've had some attrition. You start with some people, you're excited about it, and then they figure out, it's kind of not for me, or they tail off. You can't get caught up in that. You can't get too attached to it because it's not for everybody. And it's one thing you have to figure out for yourself. Is it for me or is it not? And the other thing is, kind of like when I started, if you change nothing, nothing will change. We all make a choice every single day when we get up. Is this going to be a good day? Is it going to be a bad day? How am I going to treat people? What am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to wear? We have that choice with everything that we can control. What's going on in Houston and the wildfires in Los Angeles, that's out of our control. We can't control that kind of stuff. But we each and every day have the opportunity, to make the decision and the choice, to either help ourselves or hurt ourselves in terms of our goals. We're either getting closer to them or we're getting further away. We're enabling ourselves to live a life by design, or we're disabling ourselves and we're settling. So again, the choice is always ours. There's a quote by The Rock, and I put it up on my screen. I love The Rock. I think he's awesome. He's such a cool guy to follow. But one of his quotes is, "Be the person that when your feet touch the floor in the morning, the devil says, 'Oh shit, they're up.'" Be that kind of person. Set your intentions for the day. Go help people. Go connect with people. Bring value to their lives, and in return, it brings value to yours. And it's one of the greatest feelings. I've had, a lot of my people, they're texting me with their successes, whether they've lost weight or inches or they feel better. I mean, that's what it's about. My results are awesome, but what I'm able to help other people do and achieve means so much more, than what I've been able to gain out of it. And just at home and seeing, my parents, my brother dabbles in the shakes, so he uses it too. And seeing their transformations and how it's helped them. I mean, it's been really, really, it's been phenomenal, to kind of see everything come together and, inside the family and then out with, everybody we're helping. So, yeah, don't, never give up, whatever it is, whether you're in Isagenix or not, don't ever give up. There's always a way and you can find it. It's just, the choice is up here and you just got to make it for yourself.
Absolutely. I love that. Never give up. Everything is a choice. And, if you can do something to help improve someone else's life, it's probably going to improve yours. That's pretty much what I got out of your advice, and I love it. So the announcement, and thank you so much, Wyatt. That was
freaking thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for everybody for coming on. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. And the announcement that I had that I was planning on telling you, I need to hold off on because some things have changed. So we'll have to wait till next Monday for that. But it's going to be big and it's going to be awesome. And get excited about it. So we're just going to end this call early since it's a holiday, and we just have 5 minutes. So thank you everyone so much for hopping on. And Wyatt, you're awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And
Thanks, Wyatt.
Everyone have a good night.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Laura, to answer your question,
Hi, Colton.
is Allie still on here?
No. Yes. No. Allie.
Since it's a holiday, do you guys want to convene tomorrow?
Doesn't matter.
Jamie, can you do that?
Jamie, you're muted.
Yo, we can't even hear you though.
Now we can hear you.
I must have double clicked it. Yeah, I can do tomorrow.
Okay, sweet. I will put that in the chat.
Okay.
So, we're still recording.